All right, besties, episode 27. Who the hell did I marry? We are getting near the end, y'all. But don't worry, not to end. And as usual, I always have more series coming out for you. Stay tuned for the new Catflix, the Will era. I love my follower, whoever termed Catflix. I love you. Shout out to you because it's so good. Shout out Netflix. Let's get a deal. So, we left off. The cops have come to the house because we have been making lots of noise. It's like 6 p.m., right? And we're getting a noise complaint at 6 p.m. Takis is in the bedroom and he had come out because he heard the cops at the door. I look at him, he looks at me. I'm like, I didn't call the cops. And he's like, are you kidding me right now? I'm like, dude, I didn't call the cops. Apparently the neighbor called them. It wasn't me. And he was like, okay, well, are you going to answer? I'm like, obviously we can just ignore them. And he was like, okay, well, remember that I am not a citizen. And I'm like, bitch, I know. But you know what? You are bringing up a very interesting point. So you better be nice to me right now because this can go one of two ways for you, sir. I look at him. I go to the door, I open the door, I crack it. The cops are like, hi, we got a noise complaint. Can we come in? And I was like, hold on, I just got to put my dogs away. I close the door. I lead the dogs into the bedroom. I close the door. Takis goes and he's standing next to the couch and kind of like leaning on it as I'm opening the door. I open the door. Two cops are there. One is a guy who's very stocky and tall, white guy, and then one is a very stocky, short Hispanic man. Hispanic man looks mean as hell and he is not here to play. White guy looks like he is just kind of like here for the ride, but he doesn't really want to be here either. They're like, hi, we had a noise complaint. I'm like, yes, I know. My neighbor had actually called because we were arguing. And he was like, okay. And they're like inspecting me, right? They're like looking to see if I'm hurt or anything, I'm guessing. And they look and they're like, who are you? I'm like, I'm Kat. And then they're like, who is that? I'm like, that is my estranged husband. And they're like, oh, are you guys divorced? I'm like, no, we're separated. And they're like, who lives here? And I'm like, I do. And Takis goes, and I do too. And I was like, well, no, actually, he's not supposed to be here. And they're like, oh, whose name is on the lease? I'm like, both of ours, but we are separated. Taki starts saying that his name is on the lease. He starts kind of like arguing a little bit. Both the cops are like, hold on, sir. The Hispanic cop takes Takis into the bedroom, and the white cop takes me out into the hallway. They separate us, and he's like, hey. He's like, tell me what happened. I'm like, okay. I came home. He was here. We started arguing. He kicked a box, and that's what happened. And then I guess somebody called the cops, and now you're here. And he was like, did he put his hands on you? I was like, no. And he was like, okay, has he put his hands on you? I'm like, no. He's like, were you scared? Do you feel for your life? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, no, no, no. Like, he hasn't put his hands on me. He did kick that box, but he would not lay a hand on me. And he was like, okay, well, do you want him to be here? I was like, no. He was like, okay, so if you don't want him to be here, then we can make sure that we take him off the property because you said that you guys are separated and you were arguing, but do you have a fear for your life? I'm like, no, I just want him off the property because we are separated because he cheated on me with literally everyone and their mom. And the guy's like, oh, what a loser. I'm like, yeah, I know. And he's like, okay, I'm going to give you our card so that if anything happens, you can call us, but please just make sure that you stay safe. And if you need anything, you can call us. I'm like, great. Takis comes out of the room with the guy, and Takis is pissed looking. And both of them are like, all right, we're going to take you off the premises, and you can't come back here again. So you need to just, like, stay off of here because she feels scared. And if we get called again for a noise complaint, then we're going to actually, like, take you down to the office. And Takis is looking at me, and he's like, are you serious? Like, my name is on the lease. And they're like, yep, sorry, but, like, this is a domestic dispute, and we're going to take you off the property. I'm like, thank God. They take him off the property, and Takis is looking at me, and he's like, I'm going to text you later. I'm like, you better not. He takes him off, and he takes him down the stairs, and I go back in the room, and I'm just sitting in the bedroom, like, zonked out because I'm tired, I'm sad, and I am just wondering how the hell I'm going to get through the next couple of days so that I can figure things out. The next day rolls around. I get a text from Shane. Shane is the guy that I had run into the restaurant, and I give him my number, the really hot guy that I had given my number to when I was with Takis and kissed him, and la la la. He texts me and he's like, hey, beautiful, I'd really like to take you out this week. Do you want to meet for a drink like during happy hour? I would love to come pick you up and spend a little time together. I'm like, yeah, I would love that, right? That day, Takis had texted me and he was like, I need to call you so that we can chat about things because I have some things that I want to amend to the statement that I gave you. And also we need to talk about everything from the contract. I was like, yes, I have been looking over the contract, over all your red notes, and I have amended myself. So we need to figure out how we're going to make this deliberation as smoothly as possible. Because if we have to get somebody that's going to deliberate between us, then we need to do that because I want this done as fast as possible. And I knew in my brain that Takis was going to try to drag this shit out. He's like, okay, should I come over to the house tonight? I'm like, no, you're not allowed to come to the house anymore. If you want to meet with me anytime we talk, we're going to meet in a public place, but you can't come to the house anymore. And he's like, well, what if I want to see the dogs? I'm like, too damn bad. You can see them at the dog park if I go to the dog park and I invite you to come there. But everything from now on is going to be 100% on my terms. And he was like, well, that doesn't seem very fair. I'm like, Do we need to go over the list of transgressions, sir? And also, do you not know that I saved your ass the other day because it could have gotten so bad? I basically could have like screwed you over and sent your ass back to Greece where you're actually a wanted man. But I didn't tell the cops anything. I literally just told them that we got into an argument, and he was like, well, we did just get in an argument. I'm like, yeah, but you know what? I did feel a little bit threatened, and I could have made it a lot worse by telling them how I actually felt, because I did feel a little bit scared, but I didn't, because I decided that I wanted to get this figured out with you, because if I sent his ass back to the country, I wasn't going to get alimony, and I wasn't going to figure things out, and I needed him to still pay the bills. So I was thinking long term. I know that you guys are like, why didn't you send his ass back to the country? But he was paying the bills, and I needed to get my ducks in a row first before I decided what to do about his fate in the country. He's like, okay, let's meet tonight. I'm like, no, I have a date. And he's like, are you kidding me? I'm like, I don't want to hear nothing, dude. And he was like, all right, fine. I will see you in the morning next day. I'm like, great. Shane texts me, and he was like, hey, can you meet me at this place that's on Melrose? Let's meet around 5 p.m. I'm like, great. I had a car at the time. I don't drive right now. I just Uber everywhere, as some of you may know. But at the time, I did have a car, and so I decided that I was just going to meet him because I didn't want this man to know where I lived. I just met him. All this while, Will is still texting me being like, how can we hang out, blah, blah, blah. I'm still keeping his ass at bay a little bit because I do like him, and we did have a nice time, but I'm trying to see what I'm going to do here. I go, and it's a place on Melrose, and it is a outdoor bar, very cute. It was like, you walk in, there was a little outdoor awning, there was all these little umbrellas, and I see him sitting there, and he's just like smiling at me. He's so cute, you guys. I was like, damn, this man is like super hot. So he's wearing a short sleeve All Saints t-shirt, black jeans, black boots, and his hair is like all coiffed really cute. I was wearing these kind of denim washed jean shorts, a little tan crop top, and sneakers. I go over, I give him a kiss on the cheek, I sit down, and he's like, oh, do you want a drink? I'm like, yeah. So I order a wine, and we just start chatting. He starts telling me that he used to be a child actor, and that now he is here doing photography and directing, and he's been living in LA for like 14 years. And he starts telling me that he feels like he might have seen me somewhere before because I look familiar. And I'm like kind of talking to him, and we look each other up on Instagram, and I see on his photography page that we have a lot of like mutual friends. And I'm like, oh, we have like a lot of mutual friends, and so we're like chatting about that. He's like, so what's your deal? I'm like, well, that man that I was with was my ex-husband. He's like, yeah, what's up with that? I'm like, it's a very long story, but we are in the middle of this long, drawn-out frickin' divorce that I'm going to have very soon, and we will be separated. So don't worry, like, everything will be fine. I'm like, what about you? What's your situation? And he's like, I actually also just got out of a long-term relationship, a 7-year relationship, and we actually just broke up like 2 months ago. And I'm like, oh, okay, so it's like really new. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, all right. As we're sitting there, y'all, I notice that he's getting tipsier and tipsier, until to the point that I kind of see he's like slurring a little bit. And I'm like, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, no. I'm like totally good. I'm like, okay, well, it's like 6 p.m. and this man is like wasted now. I'm like, okay, well, maybe we should go because I have things to do at the house. I got to go feed my dogs and everything. Did you drive or what? And he's like, yeah, I did drive. And he's like, here, why don't you let me drive you to your car? Because I had parked a little bit farther. And I'm like, can you drive? And he's like, totally. We go to his car. He's driving this really lifted, nice brown Jeep. We get in the car. And as soon as we get in the car, he looks over. And he's looking at me very sweetly, y'all. And I look over at him, and he's kind of smiling at me. And he just like leans over and kisses me. And I decide like, you know what? I'm into it. So I kiss him. He's a really good kisser, super soft lips. I mean, he is very, very sexy. And I'm like, damn, this boy can get it. But he just got out of a relationship. I just got out of a freaking marriage. We're just having fun, clearly. He takes me to my car. He's fine. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, well, I'd really like to see you again soon. And I'm like, yeah, when do you want to see me? And he's like, what about tomorrow for coffee? Like, I actually don't live very far from you. I actually live like 4 streets down. I'm like, oh, okay, sure. And he's like, okay, great. So I'll see you later. I get out, I get into my car. And as I'm in the car, he texts me and he's like, you look so beautiful. I miss you already. I'm like, LOL. And he's like, look, do you mind if I actually come over and hang out with you for a little bit tonight? And I'm like, oh, yeah, no, I actually have like things to do. So probably not a good night for you to hang out. And he's like, please, like, I just really want to spend a little more time with you. I just feel like we have this like really deep connection. And I'm just like not ready to say goodnight yet. Y'all, do not ever not listen to your first instinct with things, because I was like, didn't really want to, but I let this man convince me, okay? And I have learned my lesson now. I am older and wiser, and I don't let men convince me of anything now. So all of my things in the past, I have learned deep and dark lessons from them. And this was a lesson where it's like, if it's not a fuck yes, it's a fuck no. If you're ever feeling like mediocre about something, a situation, a man, or whatever, it's a no. Now, if you're doing it for the lore and you're like, this could be fun, cool. But if you feel some sort of inkling of like, this might get a little weird, listen to that feeling. Should have listened to this feeling. I let this man follow me to my place. He parks in my garage. I take him upstairs. We're up there. My dogs are saying hi. He's really sweet to my dogs. They're being really nice to him. And he's like, hey. And literally, he has this bag with him. He pulls out of the bag this bottle of tequila. I'm like, oh. He's like, do you want to take a shot? I'm like, all right, fuck it. You know what? We're drinking. Like, I can just do the rest of my stuff tomorrow. Like, I deserve to have a good time. Like, let's do it. So we start taking shots and playing a drinking game, right? He's getting smashed. I'm like a little tipsy, but I'm kind of like, okay. While we're there, someone is calling him on his phone. His phone keeps buzzing and buzzing and buzzing. I'm looking over and I'm like, dude, somebody with this name, we're going to call her Cheyenne, keeps calling you. And he's like, oh yeah, like, don't worry about it. Like, that's my sister. I'm like, okay, well, if your sister's calling that much, then she probably needs you. Because if my brother was buzzing you that much, I would think something's wrong. He's like, fine, I'm going to take it. Can I go on your roof? Because remember, I had this loft roof that you go out on the top. He's like, can I take it? I'm going to go upstairs. I'm like, cool. He goes up there. He's chatting away or whatever. I'm texting. Takis is texting me, asking me about when we can meet. I'm like, look, I will figure it out, blah, blah, blah. He's kind of like pressing me a lot. And I just go, hey, so what about this diamond bracelet situation? Silence from him. Oh, that really stopped him from texting me. Shane comes down. He's very tipsy. He's like, hey, do you mind if I just like lay down on your couch for a second? Can I just like lay my head in your lap and can you like stroke my hair and tell me a story? I'm like, what the hell? Am I your mother? I'm like, okay. Ugh. I hate it that this man is so fine, right? He lays in my lap and I'm kind of like stroking his hair. I'm like, oh, what did your sister say? And he's like, oh, you know, she's just like asking me about my plans for the rest of the night. I'm like, oh, where does she live? And he's like, oh, LA. I'm like, oh, do you only have one sister? And he's like, yeah. He's like drifting, you guys. I'm like, are you falling asleep? He's like, no. I have the TV on and I have like something on, right? I'm texting one of my girlfriends being like, this man is at my house that I met at lunch and he is here and he's really, really cute, but I feel like I want him to leave now, but I think he's drunk. She's like, girl, just get him to leave. I'm like, I know. I look down, this man is straight up snoring. He is sleeping on my lap in my house. I'm like, shit, what am I doing now? It's like 8 p.m. on like a Tuesday or something, right? I'm like, I gotta get this guy out of my house. Like, I got shit to do. So I'm like, maybe I'll make him a coffee and then like I'll usher his ass out. I very carefully like lift him off of my lap. I go and I'm like making him a coffee. I want to say it was like 20 minutes later, he finally like kind of wakes up. Well, by that I mean I like kind of just like made a bunch of noise to like get him up. He like kind of opens his eyes and he's like, oh, did I drift off? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I made you a coffee so that you can drive home. And he's like, oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. I'm like, yeah, of course. And he's like kind of just sitting there and I'm looking at him like, brother, take the hint. You've overstayed your welcome. And he's just like, you want me to leave? And I was like, yeah. I'm like, look, I've had a really nice time, but I really have a lot of stuff that I have to do. I'm dealing with this freaking divorce. Like, you should probably go. And he was like, yeah, okay. And he's like, well, I had a really nice time with you and I really, really like you and I just would really like to spend more time with you. So tomorrow I'm going to come by and I'm going to take you for a coffee in the morning before you have all your other stuff to do because I literally live like 3 streets down and then I have a shoot after that. I'm like, you know what? Okay, coffee, sure. Like, you can make it up to me for getting drunk on my couch. I give him his coffee. He has it. He gives me a kiss. And as he's leaving, Cheyenne calls him again. I'm like, damn, your sister's really persistent. And he goes, I don't have a sister. And I go, what? And he goes, oh, I mean, yeah, Cheyenne is persistent. I go, whoa, wait a minute, sir. What do you mean you don't have a sister? And he goes, oh, shit. And I was like, all right, you know what? Come back your ass in here again. Lean up against the door, like halfway in, halfway out, and explain to me what's going on here. And he goes, look, I really, really like you. And he's like, but Cheyenne is actually my ex-girlfriend. And I'm like, oh, okay. And he's like, we actually still live together. And I'm like, oh. He's like, yeah. And we literally just split up and she doesn't know that I'm out dating people. But like, I had to get away because like the moment I saw you, I knew that I just had to talk to you because I knew that this was not a chance that I was going to give up again. I'm like, what do you mean chance you're going to give up again? What are you talking about? And he was like, yeah, this is the other thing is you don't remember me, do you? I'm like, what? And he was like, we've met before. I'm like, no, we haven't. And he's like, yes, I've met you before. I'm like, what? And he goes, do you remember the Netflix event like a year ago where you were attending and it was for this show, blah, blah, blah. I'm like thinking back on it. I'm like, I don't remember. I've attended a lot of events and I can't really remember. And he's like, do you remember that you started playing this drinking game where you like flick the football that's like shaped into a paper into a shot and then you take it and it was with the bartender and it was at the Hollywood Athletics Club. all these things start catching up to me. And I realize, wait a second, I do know this guy. He was bartending at this event that I attended. We met and we played this drinking game. All of a sudden, all these things start going in my brain, and I'm like a beautiful mind, and I remember him. And he's like, yes, we met a year ago. You had talked to me. You told me that you were married, and I was telling you that I was in a relationship. You made such an impression on me because you were so cool and funny, and I wanted to get your number, but I knew that you were in a relationship. But then afterwards, I walked you home, remember? And I was like, oh my God, that's right. So this is what happened, you guys. A year ago, before that, I'd gone to a Netflix event that I had been invited to for a show. This guy, Shane, was working the event. He is a photographer and then also does like bartending on the side for events. At the end of that event, it was raining and I didn't have an umbrella. I had walked there from my house. He had an umbrella and he was really nice to me. And he was like, I live close by, so I'll walk you home with my umbrella. He was super chill, no weird vibes. And I remember that we had this like really good conversation. I thought it was really, really hot. And he walked me home and that was it. And I remembered specifically his eyes because they looked like little wolf eyes. And it was all coming back to me. He was like, yeah, when I saw you in Brentwood the other day, I couldn't believe it. And you didn't remember me. And then you kissed me and I was like, holy shit, like, it's all meant to be. Like, I believe in the universe so deeply and all this stuff, but I didn't want to scare you away because I did just break up with Cheyenne and we do still live together and we're figuring it all out. I'm like, okay, well, you should have just told me all this. And he's like, well, I didn't want to come off like a weird stalker because I know you're going through your divorce and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, well, now that I know, I can make the decisions and all that. And he's like, I feel this like deep connection with you. I know that this is only the second time that we've met or hung out and you don't remember the first time. I'm like, I do remember it now. He's like, but I feel like we have such a good rapport and we just have this like really, really good vibe. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I feel like that too. And he's like, okay, so can I come and get you for coffee tomorrow? I'm like, yeah, let's chat in the morning and we'll see if I have time. He's like, great. He gives me a kiss, he leaves. I'm like reeling from all this. I'm like, the world's a small place and LA is even smaller. I go inside. I'm looking at my text from Takis and he's like, hey, I want to meet tomorrow for coffee to make the addendums to the things on the contract. I'm like, I can't meet for coffee, but I can meet you like mid-afternoon and we can go over everything. You know, maybe you should bring somebody that can mediate. And he's like, okay, I'll bring Dino. I'm like, no, we need to bring someone that is like an actual professional mediator or someone that is in the middle ground of us that we don't have any ties to on either side, that someone is just like completely neutral because I don't trust your ass. He's like, fine. He's like, where do you want to meet? I'm like, you can meet me. And there was like a little sandwich place that was on the end of the street. I was like, you can meet me there for lunchtime and then we can chat. I will try to find someone that can come and mediate tomorrow because I actually had an idea of a friend of ours that his sister was a therapist slash mediator. And I just thought because she knew both of us that she could kind of do it. So I was like, I'm going to call her and see if she can do it. And if she can, then I'll have her come. If not, then we should maybe figure out another time we can do it. And he's like, no, I want to get this done then. So either way, if a media can't come, we should do it. I'm like, oh, you know what? Fine. Like, I just want to get this over with. So it'll be in public. It'll be fine. The next day rolls around. I get up. Shane texts me. He's like, let's go grab coffee, like 8 a.m. I space things out to where I'm like, okay, there's going to be no overlap. So I can go to coffee with Shane at 8, and then I can walk one street over to the lunch spot and meet Takis at noon, right? I have time to go back home too, and there's going to be a lot of time for me to like do everything. Y'all, don't count on scheduling things this quick, okay? Because my mind, she was trying to do business things very priority, but when it comes to men, don't be overlapping them like I am. Like, don't be a dumbass like me, okay? I get up and I'm wearing this little yellow sundress that's from Reformation. It's very cute. It was yellow and it had white sunflowers on it. And I was wearing some little like just regular flip-flops. I walked out of the coffee shop and Shane is already there. He knows that I drink a cold brew and he is waiting. He's so cute, you guys. Like, I was like smiling, looking at him being like, wow, I actually like really like this guy. And he was wearing just this really cute tight white tank top and blue jeans and his little boots. We sit down and he's just like, oh, you look so beautiful. And we're kind of chatting and he's telling me about his day and his photography. And I'm like, hey, so what's going on with like you and your ex? And he was like, well, you know, we broke up after 7 years because it just became like a roommate situation. I feel like she's like my sister now. And I'm like, your sister that you had sex with? And he's like, no, it's like completely platonic, but it would really hurt her if she knew that I was out dating. So, you know, I haven't told her. I'm like, well, that's kind of messed up. I mean, you guys aren't together. So what's your plan? Like, are you going to move out? Like, is she going to move out? And he's like, we can't afford to not live together at this time. So she is going to end up moving out at some point. But right now I'm just like working a lot, trying to save up because one of us has to move out. We also share the car. I'm like, you share the Jeep? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. I'm like, why do I have all these problematic men around me? Can I just have one nice man? But I'm like very attracted to this man, you guys. So my lady hormones were working, all right? And I should not have been following those, okay? I was following my hormones and not my mind, so that was a bad thing. We're sitting there and we're just kind of laughing and everything. And I'm sitting next to the booth right here. There's the window here. I'm sitting with my back to the window. He's sitting looking at me. He's like laughing and he just looks over my shoulder and he's like, that. And I go, what? And he goes, is that your ex? I look over. Who's there? Motherfucking Takis. He's standing outside the window, just staring at us like this. I'm like, oh my God, this motherfucker. It's like 9 a.m. He's like, what is he doing here? I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm like, I'm supposed to meet him for lunch at 12 to discuss the arrangements of our dissolution of everything. And I didn't think that he would be over here. And he was like, okay, well, is this going to be a problem? I'm like, no. I'm like, 1 second. And he's like, do you want me to go with you? And I'm like, no, it's fine. I walk out and Takis is like, oh, well, you look really cozy. I'm like, I am cozy. What are you doing here? And he was like, oh, well, I was just walking by to get a coffee over here before we met for lunch. And I see you here on a date. And I'm like, okay, well, you don't drink coffee. So what the hell are you doing here? And he was like, oh, well, maybe I wanted to get a decaf. I'm like, Takis, never in your years of being with me or years on earth have you ever liked decaf. So are you waiting for me or spying on me? Like, what are you doing? And he's like, I just had a feeling you'd be over here because you love this coffee shop. So you're spying on me. And he was like, no, I'm just seeing what you're up to. I'm like, this is called stalking and harassment, sir. And this is not going to look well for you if we go to court. And he's like, you're still my wife. I'm like, so why don't you tell me about the bracelet? And he's like, what bracelet? I'm like, well, I ran into one of your colleagues and he was telling me and going on and on about what a wonderful husband you were and how much you loved me and how in New York you were just singing my praises. And he was like, oh, yes, I know that man loved you because he would never cheat on you because he bought you a beautiful diamond tennis bracelet. Do you see something here? And he goes, he was probably mistaken. I was like, brother, we're already getting a divorce. I'm already taking you for everything that I can, and you already have lied to me multiple times. You don't need to keep lying. Just tell me what's going on. And he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, how much did you spend on this person? Where is this diamond bracelet? Like, what are we doing here? You're definitely paying me for that because that should have been my diamond bracelet. We're like going back and forth, and then Shane just like pops his head out because Takis looks over my shoulder, and Shane's like, Kat, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. I like forgot he was there. I'm like, Takis, go away. I will meet you at noon. I'm going back in here and finishing my date. And he's just like, whatever. He storms off. He goes down and disappears on a Hollywood Boulevard into the ether of nothingness and wherever. I don't care where he's going. He could be crawling into Satan's butthole for all I care. I go back inside. I'm like, I'm so sorry. He's like, look, I get it. Like, I'm going through drama with my ex as well. It's totally fine. He's like, so what's going on? Like, you're going through an actual divorce. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, why did you get married so young? And I'm like, it's a long story, but basically it was because he was going to get shipped out and we were together, but we also wanted to get his green card. And so it was legit, but we just got married faster than we would have. And he was like, wow, yeah. And he's like, I broke up with my ex because she wanted to get engaged and I just wasn't sexually attracted to her anymore. And then he, y'all, reaches over and like slides his hand on my leg and he's like, but I'm very attracted to you. And I'm like, okay, sir. I usually would get the ick from that, but I was really attracted to this man, and seeing Takis be all annoying, I was just like, damn, this man is hot. I just lean over, I start kissing him. We're just like making out in this coffee shop. He pulls away and he was like, let's go to your place. I'm like, no, sir, no. It is 8 in the morning. It's too early for this. I'm like, look, we can hang out another time, but I need to go meet Takis and deal with all this shit. He's like, okay, sorry. He's like, I have to deal with my situation too. I'm like, yeah, we both have exes and situations to deal with. I'm like, all right, let's go. And he's like, no, you go out first. I'm like, why? And he was like, oh, sorry. It's just like, I do live kind of close and I just don't want my ex to see us together. I'm like, red flag. Are you sure you guys are broken up? And he's like, yes, we are 100% broken up. I just know that would really hurt her feelings if she saw me with somebody else. Keep this in y'all's mind, y'all. Keep this in mind for your story, okay? I'm like, okay. I walk out. I'm walking down the street, gonna go to my house. But then I realized, like, you know what? Let's just go around the corner. My house is here. Takis went this way. The sandwich shop is over here. Let me just round the corner and make sure this mofo is like not waiting on me or like stalking me or doing whatever. I walk around the corner and sure enough, he's just posted up right there. Just been sitting there. He didn't see us, but he was waiting on the corner. He's like, did you have a nice time? I'm like, are you crazy? Why are you still here? I'm not supposed to meet you for like 2 hours. And he was like, well, I'm just waiting on you because you know what? I have all the time in the world since I'm unemployed. I'm like, that's not my fault. And he's like, yeah, but I'm probably moving to Miami. I just want to let you know. I'm like, what? And he's like, yep. I'm like, look, should we just do this now? Like, I just walked out. You're here. Like, let's just go do this now. Let's just like get this over with. He's like, if you want to. I'm like, great. Be right back. I'm going to go get the paperwork. I'll be right there. He's like, well, can I come up and see the dogs? I'm like, no. I storm back upstairs. I grab the paperwork. I go back down. It's like a 5-10 minute walk. I walk over to the sandwich shop. We sit down, and the sandwich shop is tiny. It's got like 4 seats. So we take up like half the place. I put out my paperwork over there, and it is a very hippy dippy sort of like vegan place. So this is not really the place to be doing this sort of like meeting, but I don't care. I'm kind of like want a sandwich, and I just want to talk to him and get this over with. I lay out the papers. I'm like, here's the deal. I can't do $2,000 for a year. That's crazy. $2,000 a month only in alimony for a year is actually diabolical because I have bills to pay and I got used to a certain lifestyle with us being together, and I am not going to be able to pay the bills on my own. So you need to be able to pay everything up until 4 months until I move. You need to cover my moving expenses. I will be okay if you want to do $5,000 a month for a year, but I'm not taking anything less than that. And he's like, okay. I'm like, okay. And he's like, yeah, like I told you, I got this job in Miami. I'm like, have you already gotten the job? And he was like, yeah, I'm moving. I'm like, when are you moving? And he's like, a month. I'm like, a month? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, wait, we need to get a divorce. Like, we need to split everything up. And he was like, okay, well, we can do all the paperwork for then. Suddenly this man wants to fast track things. I'm like, okay, great. I'm like, well, how much are you going to pay at this new job? He's like, none of your business. I'm like, well, if you could afford it, then you need to be doing the $6,000 for 2 years because now it seems like you're going to be making big bucks. And he was like, look, I don't have to tell you anything, but like, let's square this away. So now I'm thinking, wait, this man is trying to scam me, y'all. Like now he has new information that he just got a new job and he is trying to scam me out of this. Suddenly I'm thinking, okay, we need to rework this and we might actually have to go to court. He's looking at me smugly because he like knows a secret. I'm like, ew. I look at him and he is wearing a polo, like a Lacoste polo and these like tight ass pants, which are not his style. I was like, whose clothes are you wearing, sir? Like, who are you cosplaying as? As we're chatting, I'm getting heated because I'm like, you need to disclose information. Otherwise, we can go to court and you're going to have to disclose this information. And he's just like, I don't have to disclose anything, but just know that I'm going to get a good salary, blah, 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 blah. We're going back and forth. My phone goes off. I look down, y'all, and who's calling me? Another player from back in the day, Richie. I look. He looks down at my phone. He sees his name. He's like, are you kidding me? Is that guy? Is that dude? I'm like, shh. And he's like, oh my God, I can't believe that you're being and you're just around here like we've barely gotten divorced, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, sir, first of all, you cannot be calling me that word when you're literally the one that has been spreading his seed onto the lands, trying to start new crops, right? Like mini Takis plants everywhere, okay? You can't do that to me. I see Richie, and I haven't talked to him, y'all, since previously. I'm like, what does he want? Does he know? Has he heard something? I'm like, you know what? I can't do this right now. I'm going to take this call. I'm going to go upstairs. We need to rethink this because now I have new information that apparently you're leaving. So we're going to rework this and we're getting a mediator because I'm not talking anymore about this with you when it's clear that you now actually have a plan. You're leaving the state. You have a new job already lined up and you're going to be making pretty good money. So I need reparations and we need to talk about this with a mediator. He starts like arguing with me. I look over at like the hippie girl that's behind the counter and she's kind of like, y'all are getting loud. I'm like, no. I stand up, I take my paperwork, I walk out. I look down, I see the missed call from Richie and I decide that I'm going to call him back. So Takis is moving to Miami. And Richie has entered my life. And now Shane is over here with his problematic ex-girlfriend. And also Will is there. I am now juggling so many men. I had one man that was very dishonest. And now I have multiple men and I'm still dealing with Takis. Yes, now we're going through this era, you guys. Stay tuned. Episode 28 coming up. I love you and I see you. Big hug, big kiss.